Hello world! It's time to talk about acting. I went to acting school and I like to know that I know at least a little bit about acting, and I think that acting can be the best part of movies. So I'm going to talk about my top 10 favorite performances of 2015 from any movie by any actor. And I have 6 honorable mentions that I'm going to mention first. I'm not going to go into detail why they're my picks, but I'm just going to name them because I feel like they deserve to be named. And those 6 are Jacob Tremblay for Room, Elizabeth Banks for Love and Mercy, Kate Winslet in Steve Jobs, Benicio del Toro in Sicario, Alicia Vikander in The Danish Girl, and John Cusack in Love and Mercy. Now let's get to my top 10. And just fair warning, this isn't going to be like chock full of the Oscar nominees or any of that kind of populist stuff. This is my list. This is what I think are the best. I think I could give you reasons and a good enough understanding on why I think they're the best, but at the end of the day, you're probably not going to agree with me, and that's fine, because this is my list, and yeah. And I thought I would make that disclaimer at first because number 10 on my list is Tom Noonan from Anomalisa. Tom Noonan gives a voiceover performance in Anomalisa, and he plays every other character in the movie but the 2 leads. And that is my number 10 favorite performance of the year because, like, he acts in the same way, and it's almost like he's using the same muscles and hits the same notes with all the different characters, but he hits them in different ways. And he does that all through his voice, but his voice, it's the same performance. It's difficult to explain. It's the same vocal performance, the same vocal quality, tone, all that stuff, but completely different feel for every different character, and I really, really loved the work that he did in Anomalisa. Also, I couldn't find a clip of any of the scenes that he was in Anomalisa, so I'm just going to show a little clip of an interview that he did.
So when we did the play at Royce Hall at UCLA, I'm on stage, so the first couple times you see, I say things and I'm playing different people, everybody sort of gets the idea very quickly that I'm playing everybody else, because they can see me doing it. And so I had a lot more latitude as far as doing some, funny voices. I could, not that I'm any good at that, but I did more of that then. But when we did the movie, since you never see me, you only hear me, the connection is that I sound the same. So I had to tone down all that stuff.
Number 9 on my list for best performances of 2015 is Cate Blanchett in Carol. She was really good. Cate Blanchett is a magnificent actress. She has this really strong magnetic power to her. Like, everything that she says, you're just like itching to know what it is that she's gonna say, and she has this kind of edge of your seat quality where everything that she says or does is just really powerful. And I find her performance in Carol to be really strong because she's playing a strong female character where the character has flaws and the character does stuff wrong and the character is a vulnerable character, but she plays the character with such honesty and beauty and exploration and so little judgment. Like, it would be so easy to play a character like that with so much judgment. Like, she's playing a character who is kind of middle-aged and married, and all of a sudden divorces her husband and falls in love with a young woman in the 1950s. That would be easy to play with judgment or caricature, but she plays it with complete honesty, and man, she was good.
Played it for you on piano at your house.
I remember. Thank you. Oh, God, don't. I look fried.
You do not. You look wonderful. Just stay like that.
Do you miss Richard?
No, I haven't thought about him all day.
And yeah, this is my list. So number 8 is Leonardo DiCaprio for The Revenant. Just at number 8, no higher than that. But deserves to be on my top 10. I don't know why I have to say so many disclaimers to say that I actually liked his performance. Yeah. Look, we all know he was great. The fact that he devoted himself so much to these conditions, these circumstances, and this struggling and pain that his character had to go through this entire time. He devoted himself so completely to that, and he made me feel the pain that he was going through. Well, he didn't make me feel it. That would be presumptuous to say. But I understood, and I was like, damn, I'm sorry, dude. Look, he was great, and he gave off a different vibe in this movie than a lot of his other movies. The thing about Leo is that in a lot of his movies, he has this kind of very versatile aura to him, where the character that he plays is compelling in a lot of different movies. It's the same character, but it can be compelling in many different movies. This movie felt like a departure from that character, so I applaud him for that, and I applaud him for the intense commitment that he showed.
I ain't afraid to die anymore. I've done it already.
My number 7 choice for my list of top 10 acting performances of the year is Alicia Vikander in Ex Machina. I gotta be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed. I thought this would be higher on my list. It was high on this list for a long time during this year, and I guess that just happens when you have an abundance of great performances. Her performance was magnificent. She's playing a robot, and so many other actors would be like, I'm a robot. But she plays it with so much more than that. It's so interesting, like, to just think about the psychology of the movie and the psychology towards which she played the character of a robot. An artificial intelligence, albeit an advanced model of the artificial intelligence, just like the psychology and the research behind it to what she did, and like the qualification of her human thoughts, and like the quality of those thoughts, I could see. It's just really interesting to think about, and it's a brilliant performance because on the surface it looks like it's just a robot role, and that's what's going to be, and it's going to betray them at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert! But it's brilliant because when you start thinking about it, it's so complex and layered and just full. It's such a full performance and well-rounded. I don't know if any of this makes sense, but I love her performance.
Question 1. What's your favorite color?
Red.
Lie.
Lie?
Yes. Lie.
Then... then what is my favorite color?
I don't know. But it isn't red.
Okay, I get it. I guess, seeing as I'm not 6, I don't really have a favorite color.
Better answer. Question 2. What's your earliest memory?
Well, actually, it's a memory of kindergarten. There was a kid.
Lie.
It's a... Really?
Yes.
All right, so there is a kind of an earlier memory. It's just a sound. And sky. Or maybe blue. I think this sound is my mother's voice.
Question 3. Are you a good person?
Oh, holy shit. Can we stop the test? you're a walking lie detector, and I just realized this is a fucking minefield.
No, we can't stop. Are you a good person?
Yeah, I think so.
Question 4.
Number 6 on my list is Rooney Mara for Carol. I think that she's better than Cate Blanchett in Carol. She stole the movie, probably, other than Todd Haynes' direction, which was amazing. That's the list for another day. Rooney Mara's presence in the movie was amazing. The fact that she took so many risks in the character, and that's a weird thing to say because it looks like she's very reserved and quiet, but she's taking a lot of risks in the fact that the character that she exemplifies is a character that is not shown a lot of times on screen. She's very impulsive and vulnerable and emotional, but not in a typical way. Yeah, she's presented as an aspirational dreamer of sorts, but there's undertones of that impulse and that vulnerability and that emotion throughout. It's really layered and really well executed, and I really, really enjoyed her performance.
And your muse.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
I'm starved. Bon appetit. What do you do on Sundays?
Nothing in particular. What do you do?
Oh, nothing lately. I mean, if you'd like to come visit me sometime, you're welcome to. At least there's some pretty country around where I live. Would you like to come visit me this Sunday?
Yes.
What a strange girl you are.
Why?
Flung out of space.
Okay, I'm not sure if a lot of people saw this movie, but I think some people know of this performance. Number 5 is Jason Segel in The End of the Tour, where he plays David Foster Wallace, who is the well-known author of Infinite Jest. And it's the story of him meeting David Lipsky on their book tour, and they talk about life, basically the whole movie. And Jason Segel is fucking magnificent in this movie. It's so much different than anything you've seen Jason Segel do. It's so in touch with his humanity, it's actually a little bit startling. And I saw it in September. I saw it September 10th or something. And it's now January 16th, and I'm still thinking about it. That's a performance.
It was much more that I got more and more unhappy. The more unhappy I got, the more I would drink. There was no joy in that drinking. I used it for anesthesia, okay?
Okay. What kind of drinker were you? Were you a kind of falling down drinker? Were you a waking up in the curb drinker?
No, I was not, okay?
All right.
Part of my reticence about this whole thing is that it won't make very good copy for you. Because no, I was not like that at all.
You did agree to this interview.
I know that I
All
did.
right, I'm not going to push much further. Sorry.
I'm also aware that some addictions are sexier than others. My primary addiction my entire life has been to television. I told you that. Now, television addiction is of far less interest to your readers than something like heroin that confirms the mythos of the writer.
Yeah, a myth I do not believe,
Right,
okay?
no, I know you don't believe that. I'm also aware that one of the things that's swirling around here is you want to have the best fucking article you can have. So, you know what? Why don't you write whatever the fuck you want? I am telling you that this was not a lost weekend sort of thing, nor was it some lurid, romantic, writer's alcoholic sort of thing. What it was a 28-year-old person who had really exhausted a couple other ways to live. Really taken them to their conclusion, which for me was a pink room with a drain in the center of the floor, which is where they put me for an entire day when they thought that I was going to kill myself. Where I got nothing on, I got someone observing me through a slot in the wall. And when that happens to you, you become tremendously, just unprecedentedly willing to examine some other alternatives for how to live.
Number 4 on this list is Jennifer Jason Leigh for The Hateful Eight. This performance was good. You know how they say that a lot of like actresses' performances, they're great performances because they're not pretty. In fact, they're pretty ugly performances. Jennifer Jason Leigh takes the cake for this one because for a great portion of this movie, she's either being verbally insulted, like beat up because she's like this insanely dangerous criminal. She's like shit talking everybody. She's being completely terrible. Like she's being this complete shit disturber, and then a greater portion of the movie she has blood on her face and it's drenched in her hair and everything. It's the most rotten, disgusting performance, but she pulls it off so well. And if you watch interviews of her in real life, she's very far from that. She's this very sweet person. She stole the screen every frame that she was on screen from the beginning to end, and I think it was a really, really great performance.
And what you got to say about all this?
What I got to say about John Rhys Ravens? He's absolutely right. Me and one of them fellows is in cahoots. We're just waiting for everybody to go to sleep. That's what we're gonna kill y'all.
My top 3 are probably interchangeable. I think all 3 of them are just complete masterpieces of performances. I think they were just fantastic, but I'm going to rank them because that's how I am. Number 3 is going to be Paul Dano for Love and Mercy, where he plays Brian Wilson. Ooh, he was good. So the time period that he plays Brian Wilson in is this time where he's really, really getting into his music and getting in touch with his emotion and his vulnerability. And Brian Wilson is a guy who can't really handle the risks and danger of life, and life gets to him a lot, and he's very vulnerable in that way. And you know, that's refreshing to see a character like that, that's just really, really vulnerable to life, albeit completely brilliant. A really, really brilliant guy. And Paul Dano plays that just magnificently. The whole movie, like, you're rooting for him and you feel bad for him, and you're completely swept away by his music. The greatest compliment I can give is, we all know that Brian Wilson is a great musical genius, and Paul Dano completely convinced me that he was this guy that is this musical pioneer that just pioneered so many different thoughts of music and philosophies of music. I was completely convinced. And like, as I mentioned in my review for Love and Mercy, those scenes where he is directing the studio musicians what to do, I could watch that scene, those scenes, I could watch them all day long because they're just so damn interesting.
Remember, it's the higher octave on the upbeats in the bridge.
Hey, Brian.
I love that.
Brian.
Yeah.
I think you might have screwed up here.
Really? Let me see.
Well, you've got Lyle playing in D, and the rest of us are in A major.
Yeah, that's right.
How does that work? 2 bass lines and 2 different keys?
Well, it works in my head. It's all playing in my head, the orchestration and the 5 vocal parts. And I think it's gonna work. Let's try it. Oh, Hal, here's how I want you to do it. It goes, boom, 2, 3, 4, ba-doom. So it's the first beat on the last bar of the intro. Boom, 2, 3, 4, ba-doom.
Yeah, so the top 3 interchangeable. Number 2, in the purpose of ranking, number 2 is Brie Larson in Room. Oh, her performance broke my heart. The day that I saw this movie, I went home, I was sad the rest of the day because it's such a heartbreaking thing to think about. Just like thinking about the psychology of her approaching the role is really sad to think about. Like, see, I can't even begin to talk about it. Like, being kidnapped at 17 and not being outside, being kept prisoner. until you're 24. And the fact that that was convincing, like that circumstance was convincing in a performance. I don't know if there's much else to say. It was a fantastic performance.
He needs to play with something real. I'm worried about him being on the phone.
He's doing fine.
Well, I don't give him my phone, so I'd appreciate it if you didn't give him yours.
Okay, well.
Great. I just want him to connect with something.
Joy. Joy. He's really doing fine.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm supposed to be happy.
You just need to rest, okay?
No, I don't. I don't need to rest.
That's what the doctor
That is not what the doctor said. You don't know what he said because it was a confidential conversation and you don't know what he said.
All right, all right. I feel like you're impossible to talk to right now.
Well, sorry.
Well, no, you're not sorry.
Yeah, I'm not sorry. You have no idea what's going on in my head.
Yeah, well, try me. I have asked you.
And then what? Then every time you look at me, that's all that you see?
When I look at you, Joy, I will see my daughter.
Okay, and my number one favorite performance by any actor in any movie of 2015 that totally means a lot to a lot of people, my ranking is the pinnacle of artistic integrity. Number one, Michael Fassbender, Steve Jobs. Probably predictable in that way. His performance was so good. I think Michael Fassbender is an amazing, amazing actor. The fact that all the little nuances and little layers in his character, like all of it was there. He was a dick. He was amazing at the same time. Like, he exemplified all the amazing traits of Steve Jobs, which there are some. He is a genius in a special kind of way. And I get it after watching this movie. I don't know a lot about Steve Jobs going into the movie, but after the movie, I get it. Because Michael Fassbender, the whole essence of the character was there, and it was perfect, and it was perfectly presented. Well, I shouldn't say perfect, because no art is perfect. But, oh, damn.
Jobs insists, I'm quoting,
didn't invent math.
28% of the male population of the United States could be the father.
I wasn't saying you slept with 28% of American men. I was using an algorithm based on the blood test, which said there was a 94.1% chance that I'm the father.
You're trying to publicly paint me as a slut and a whore.
Believe me, I'm not trying to publicly do anything with you.
2 million people read Time. How am I
It would
supposed
be more if they put me on the cover, but Dan
I
Cocky
applied for
decided to
welfare
kidney punch
yesterday.
me. I'm sorry?
I said I applied for welfare yesterday. The Time article said your Apple stock was worth $441 million. And I wanted to ask you how you felt about that.
Well, I feel like Apple stock has been dramatically undervalued. This would be a good time to get in.
And those are my favorite performances of 2015. I'm looking forward to doing this again next year. And I'm looking forward to watching a lot more acting next year. If you like this video, which I hope you did, because I liked it a lot, I really like talking about these performances, click the thumbs up, hit subscribe, and check out the movies that I just talked about. Check out those actors' performances, and yeah, let's talk about acting, because it's really interesting.